Hi everyone, this is James from Barbechoo.com and welcome to the first episode in this 5-part series on how to cook your Christmas dinner on the barbecue. So I've teamed up with the guys over at Hillstown Farm Shop to bring you a little 5-part series on how to prepare and cook your Christmas dinner on the barbecue. A huge thanks to Hillstown for providing the meat for this 5-part series. They deliver across the whole of Northern Ireland, so if you live here and you fancy trying some of this meat that we're going to cook, I'll leave links for their website below and also all their social media, so go and give them a follow. So in the first episode we're talking about preparing the turkey, and this actually is done the night before Christmas Day, so Christmas Eve. So we're going to make up a brine. I've brined my turkeys every year that I've done them on the barbecue, and I feel it really adds a lot of moisture to them, but it also adds in flavour as well. So a basic brine will pack moisture in there, but that's our opportunity to add a lot of flavour to it as well. So the night before Christmas, when all through the house, the night before Christmas, you want to get your brine ready, get it cooled down and get your turkey into it, and you're going to leave that overnight and lift it out the next morning and get it onto the barbecue. So you can maybe see down the corner of the frame here, I have a pot of water coming up to the boil. It's just on my Weber kettle. You can do this in the house if you want, but it's a nice night, maybe a little blowy, but it's still a nice night, so I thought we'd come out to the barbecue shack and do it. So the basic ingredients to any brine is water, sugar and salt. So into the water we're going to go ahead and add 200 grams of fine sea salt, and then we're going with sugar. So this is the smoked sugar from Smoky Bray. We're going to add that in, give everything a good stir together and get that all dissolving first before we add our other flavours. So just once that water comes up to the boil, give it a good stir until all the sugar and the salt has dissolved. Okay, for a little citrus kick, we're going to go in with 4 clementines. Now, I've already zested these, so this is the zest of 4 clementines. You can add that in. Love the smell of that. Then, these are the clementines that I've already taken the zest off, so just go ahead and half them and squeeze the juice in and then chuck them in themselves. So that adds a little bit of citrus acidity to it as well, which is important in a brine. But instead of just adding a vinegar in there, we're adding the acidity through the citrus fruit, which gives it a little bit more flavour and definitely more fragrance. Next up, we're going in with around 8 tablespoons of maple syrup. Again, that's just adding a little bit more sweetness to it. Then you want to go in with, I've already prepared with 6 shallots, so I've just peeled these and cut them in half. Some of the smaller ones I've left whole, just chuck them in there too. Then we are going in with garlic. So garlic's a great savoury flavour to go against the sweetness of the brine. So we're just going to smash these up and take the skins off them and just drop them in whole. And the last one goes in. Okay, next we're going to go in with some of our spices. So we have 2 tablespoons of caraway seeds. We have 2 tablespoons of ground ginger. And we want to go in with 3 star anise. 2, 3. I'll go a little one for luck. Then we're going with roughly about a teaspoon of cloves. Now, finally, a couple of sticks of cinnamon. Give everything a stir at this point to make sure it's all mixed. Get those spices mixed through it all. And the final thing you add in before you let it simmer then are your herbs. So we just have a bunch of dill, a bunch of fresh rosemary, and a bunch of sage. So get them in there, give it all a mix around. Oh, smells amazing. Smells like Christmas. Alright, now we just need to let that do its thing for 15-20 minutes. Just let it simmer away. It'll make sure all those ingredients are dissolved down, and it'll start to cook out the flavours of everything that's in there and meld it all together. Okay, the brine's been simmering away for about 15-20 minutes. So it's time to get it off and get it cooled down. So take the pot off the heat, clear the steam out of the way. Then we have a jug of ice here. I'm just going to pour that in. Give it a quick mix and that'll instantly start to cool it down. So we don't want to put this over the turkey whenever it's still warm, or else it's going to start to cook the turkey, and we don't want that. This has to be cold before we put it in so the turkey stays chilled. You can also do this a couple of days beforehand. You don't have to do it on Christmas Eve and cool it down this way. You could do it a few days beforehand, let it cool down naturally and put it into the fridge, and then when it comes time to brine your turkey, just pour this in. So if you've added the ice and it's still a little bit warm, just leave it be and let it cool down naturally. If you haven't the time, you can add a little bit more ice into it. Okay, let's go and get the turkey and we'll get it into the brine. Okay, so here's our bird. This is the bird we got from Hillstown Farm Shop. You can order these from the website link I put into the description. Definitely check them out. They do great quality meat, and their turkeys are no different. So our brine is now ice cold, and it's time to get the turkey into it. So you're going to need some kind of container. Now, I use one of these storage tubs. You can use any container really. If you have a big enough saucepan or one of the big stock pots, you can fit it into that and fill the brine into it. You can use briner buckets, or as long as the plastic items you're using are food safe, you can really use anything. So these here are quite handy. I have this one here. I only use it for brining, so don't be using a storage tub used for something else. So this is my one I hold on to. So I'm going to get the turkey in here and then tip the brine in, and then we'll need to top up that level a little bit just to make sure the turkey's fully submerged. So just go and grab another saucepan of water, and that should bring the level up to where we need it. So that's it, all tucked away for the night. You will see in that little clip I actually flipped it over and put it breast side down, just to make sure that breast meat all stays underneath the water. So all that's left to do is to throw this in the fridge overnight. If you live in a country like I do, good old Northern Ireland, where the temperatures at night drop below refrigeration temperatures, you can leave it outside, but just be sure that you're well within that range. As a rough guide, you want to brine your turkey for about an hour per pound. So this is a 12-pound turkey, which means we're looking at a 12-hour brine. I'm just going to leave it overnight. That'll be close enough for me. So in the next video, we're going to look at getting it out of this brine and preparing it and getting it onto the barbecue and cooking it. So make sure you're subscribed and you've hit the bell to receive notifications so you'll know when the next video comes out. A huge thanks again for Hillstown for supporting these videos. If you liked the episode, please give it a thumbs up. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next video.